it very well, too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
Here's the former UCLA Bruin, Ka'imi Fairbairn, to get this one started. And in front of a raucous crowd, this one is underway. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Cardinals set to go on offense. It'll be Kyler Murray leading the way. What a year for him at Oklahoma in 2018. Heisman Trophy winner, better than 4,300 passing yards, 42 touchdowns. And don't forget about running the football as well. He had a 1,000-yard season rushing it with 12 touchdowns on the ground as well. This is David Johnson, the former All-Pro. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 11 and a Cardinal first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Johnson. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40. And here are the offensive starters for Arizona.
We're all looking forward to watching David Johnson bounce back from a rough season in 2018, because we know he has 2,000-yard potential. 1,000 on the ground, 1,000 in the air. And with a new offensive-minded coach in Arizona, look for his numbers to truly increase in 2019.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Out of the pistol, here's Johnson. Johnson odds poke free. Football's out. And the Texans scoop it. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Houston's offense here working their way back onto the field, and a 16-10 loss in Week 4 that we talked about for them against Carolina. Now, look, the pass offense was not great, and we talked about how that might have been expected because they were going against a good Carolina pass defense. The running game, though, that took an uptick a little bit.
It certainly did. Remember, they lost Lamar Miller to injury during the preseason. He had been their workhorse. Acquired Carlos Hyde. He had 58 yards. Acquired Duke Johnson. He had 56 yards. That helped in a big way. Now, they missed their chance to sit alone at the top of the AFC South with that loss. And I know people are talking about their trip to face the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead in 2 weeks. But they've got Atlanta next at home. I think that's a game they better focus on, because Atlanta will come in at 1-3 and desperate for a victory. They will put everything into that game.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Let's go.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Murray out to his left. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down. Well, we know that Murray can run the football. He rushed for 1,000 yards during his final year at Oklahoma, better than 7 yards per carry. And Cliff Kingsbury says, I trust him running the football. And this is a guy that has known his quarterback since 2012 when Murray was a sophomore in high school. Kingsbury was in the OC at Texas A&M. He would go on to take the Texas Tech job, but the two maintained a great relationship. Both are from Texas, both quarterbacks, and both with fathers heavily involved in their football careers. With Cliff Kingsbury, he trusts his quarterback implicitly.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that 1st down. Now, I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides, when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
The derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, been working on it for a little bit. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Johnson. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3.
Here we go.
Here's Johnson. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Murray now on 1st down. And incomplete. Trying to get it to Clay that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Many times as we open a game, we talk about guys who are drafted in the 1st round, but how about the undrafted players? In this case, safety Tashawn Gibson, who's made the most of his time in the NFL, becoming a starter in the league, and since 2012 has 20 interceptions, the most for undrafted players in that time frame.
2nd and 10 now from the 27.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. And here we go.
Now Johnson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
From the red zone, here's the Heisman Trophy winner, Murray. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. The lightning rod, J.J. Watt with a sack.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time, This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Second down, Murray sets to throw. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. Rolling to his right. He can run for it, and he will. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
He was able to get away earlier in the drive, but apparently all the time they put in practice finally came to the front, didn't it? They remembered their lessons and found a way to contain him when he took off on that one.
Now the former Sun Devil, Zane Gonzalez, for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 33. Gonzalez's kick is good. And the Cardinals have the first points. It's 3-0. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
After the field goal, here's Gonzalez to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Deshaun Watson leading out the Houston Texans. And CD, the thing for Deshaun so far this year, and the Texans now at 2-2 after that loss to Carolina, is the pressure that he's been facing. Week 4, sacked 6 times. He was hit 8 times in that game against the Panthers.
And that's been the way it's been for him since he was a rookie. Nothing's been different. Head coach Bill O'Brien implored his front office to help with that. And remember the trade for Laramie Tunsil right before the season began. So he's going to be a consistent left tackle for them. But all the lineup changes, everyone working into it. You need an offensive line to be together so they understand each other, have those nonverbal cues and block. And one other thing, Deshaun Watson, he's got to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker too, because he's one of those QBs who thinks he can always get out of trouble and always make a bigger play.
Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
And now the throw going to Fuller, and he's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. In that time for the sack, say hello to Chandler Jones.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. Now it's Watson. Sliding out of the pocket. And he slides to avoid the hit. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. They'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Out of the gun, Watson. He may try and run for this. And a nice job there defensively to contain him and get him to the ground a few yards short of the 1st down marker.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet, they're going to go for it on 4th. They will indeed snap it to Watson. Open man, the tight end fails. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. So they'll trudge off the field with a bitter taste in their mouths after that failed 4th down conversion.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of analysis there on the sidelines. Was it the right call? Was it against the right defense? Should they have even gone for it at all? Will that change what they do going forward in this game? A lot of questions to be answered by them. The defense doesn't really care. They're like, bring it on again. We'll stop you the next time, too.
Arizona's offense taking the field again, and I'm wondering what you think of them so far. Obviously, the record's not good, 0-3-1. Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury yet to get that first NFL victory. I don't know when it's coming, Charles.
Yeah, they need an infusion of talent on the roster, and they started that process last year going with Murray at number 1 at quarterback and adding to it with people throughout the draft. But they've got to find a way to start protecting him better. He's been sacked 20 times. And you mentioned, where do they find the victories? Well, at 0-3-1, you've got to look for teams that are similar to you. Cincinnati's off to a rough start. So you got them next week in Cincinnati. And then Atlanta, surprisingly, off to a 1-3 start. They'll be at home against the Falcons. Could one of those two be the first win for the Cardinals?
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Murray's going to keep this himself on the RPO. Open man completes it to Butler. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Justin Pugh, the left guard that time with a flag.
You got it. You got it. Right. Target.
On 2nd down, here's Murray. And the catch made by Johnson. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a 1st down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup. Before this season started, Johnson said this new offensive system would allow him to really be effective in the passing game. He actually likened it to 2016 when he had almost 900 receiving yards. He said one of his goals is to become the 3rd player in league history to hit 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in the same season. They also noted that he was really comfortable in this scheme. It's like his college days at Northern Iowa when he was part of a team that based out of a shotgun with a running quarterback. 12 yards the pickup, good enough for an Arizona first.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 44-yard line. Murray's throw on target to Christian Kirk. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Big series right here. You got to step it up.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Brings up 3rd down.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Back in Arizona, second quarter action. It's the Cardinals in possession as they've got it with a 3rd down and less than a yard. And how about the dime look here? 6 DBs on 3rd and inches.
Daring them to run the ball.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the 1st down. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Brent, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Murray now on 1st down. And an alley to run. Murray has the 1st down and more. And all the way down to the 17-yard line. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a 1st.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. Johnson with a burst, a 1st down or more. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. From 17 yards out. And the Cardinals push further out in front. And on his way to the end zone, shedding the tackle, he would not be denied.
That's what's called finishing the run. Making sure you power your way through. One-on-one tackle. No running back wants to go to the bench and say, I got stopped just short.
Zane Gonzalez on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays. And it's David Johnson who provides the capper as he scores on the touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman trying to run inside, but nothing there. Terrell Suggs in on the tackle.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. Thomas has got it, complete. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
2nd down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. Here's Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan 1st down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
19. Check, 43. Here we go.
From the 50, it's Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Play action for Miller. Now Watson steps away. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on 3rd down. To throw is Watson. Operating from the gun. He gets it to Thomas. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Fourth down, so the Texans dial up the number of their second-year punter, Trevor Daniel. Back deep, the dangerous Pharaoh Cooper. This one angles out of bounds in a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And he's been fun to watch run the football. We know he can pass, but using his legs effectively here in this one.
No doubt about it. Watch him maneuver in the pocket, out of the pocket, making the plays that he's making, which are breaking down the defense. I thought back to when we had our morning jog before the game, and I couldn't keep up with you. Those legs, they're valuable for his team.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action, and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out.
Under 10, 10.
On second down, Johnson. And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. Tashawn Gibson there on the tackle. A lot of people felt Johnson was a little misused during what was a disappointing 2018. 940 yards on the ground, 7 touchdowns. Great for most, but not the season Johnson was hoping for. And he said this offseason, there are a lot of good running backs in the NFL, but I'm the best. And now he's trying to prove it, hoping to get back to the production that sent him to the Pro Bowl in 2016. That would certainly help his rookie quarterback. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Now that's absolutely frustrating for a defender. Had a chance to get him on the ground before he got to the sideline, but what great vision and understanding where he is on the field as he headed for the marker and picked up the first down.
On 1st and 10, here's Murray. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Well, Charles, taking a step back for a second. Let's look at the undefeated teams still left in the NFL. We got New England, KC, they're 4-0. And then San Fran, they were open last week. They didn't have a game, so they're still at 3-0. We only have 3 teams left.
And they had the easiest path, not just because they had the open week, but how about New England getting challenged by Buffalo? Yes, they were on the road, but you don't often think of Buffalo as a team to really press New England. They did. And Kansas City, they got a heck of a test in Detroit. Had to score with 20 seconds left on the clock to win that game. So both of them remained undefeated, but not without struggles.
That's the interesting thing about Buffalo. I think we learned more about them in their 1 loss this year than we have in their 3 victories.
I think we would say the same thing about Kansas City because of how they got pressed, but we'd also say the same thing about Detroit, how they played Kansas City in that game.
The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. DeAndre Carter's deep for the Texans. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 16. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. And Thomas has it. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Watson with a give to Miller. And he's taken down. It's a gain of 3 from the 17 to the 20.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And that is incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. The Texans send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. David Johnson now gears up to help lead this offense back on the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. 1st down, Murray. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. It'll be an Arizona 1st down on a gain of 17. Nice pass that time by the #1 pick, Kyler Murray. Also drafted 9th in the Major League Baseball draft. He's the only person ever to be taken top 10 in both sports. Go back to his Allen High School days in Texas. He was 42-0 as a starting quarterback. Freshman year, he was at Texas A&M. Then the transfer to Oklahoma, sat behind Baker Mayfield. Then his opportunity came last year. Boy, did he make the most of it. Won the Heisman Trophy and led the Sooners to the college football playoff. A 1st down carry here for Johnson. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll run it with Johnson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. And he's got his man. It's the tight end Clay. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 33.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a 1st down.
Murray now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's 1st down. Throwing on 1st down is Murray. It's complete. It's Fitzgerald. It's a gain of 11 and a Cardinal 1st down. Now Larry Fitzgerald, the catch back on September 29th, moved into 2nd place all-time in receptions in NFL history with catch number 1326 past Tony Gonzalez.
Is that 1,326 catches? That's phenomenal. And Tony Gonzalez just went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this last year. So you know you're moving into rare territory. And for a long time, we thought that Jerry Rice's record was unapproachable. But Larry Fitzgerald continues to play. And he's actually approaching pretty fast, still a couple hundred away. But as you say now, not impossible because he seems to enjoy playing football. It looks like he's going to stay around for a while.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 1st half. 10-0 our score. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this 1st half of play from our studios in Orlando. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Murray looks to throw again, 2nd and 10. Completes it to Fitzgerald. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Kyler Murray, 1,000-yard rusher as a quarterback in his Heisman campaign at Oklahoma. He's got the first down.
Now that's disappointing for the defense. They had the advantage, had excellent coverage all over the field, but they let him get away, scramble, and pick up a first down and inside the 5-yard line.
From the gun, Murray. And Fitzgerald has got it. Touchdown, Cardinals. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Cardinals push further out in front.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Gonzalez to add the PAT. He's got it, and it's 17-0. That time, a 9-play drive. And it winds up in a touchdown for Arizona. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well, and they're really excited he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Well, CD, we are a quarter way through the season already. I'm curious, if you look at each conference, which division race is most intriguing to you right now?
Well, can we start in the NFC?
You do whatever you want.
Because if so, let's go to the North. Because we thought it would be a tough division coming into the season because I felt like you could make a case for everyone but Detroit when the season began. Now we're looking at Minnesota. They seem a little uncertain at 2-2. Chicago just lost their quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, for an indefinite amount of time, but that defense is playing awfully well. And Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers. So I think that division now is brutal. And then you've got to throw in Detroit. It's not the same old Lions. Matthew Stafford, he plays with heart, played hurt. And I think that they are improving as time goes on.
How about the AFC?
Well, I think the AFC South. Everyone's 2-2. We thought it would be a tough division. We thought it would be intriguing. And Gardner Minshew's mustache really adds a little extra intrigue to the whole thing. And we saw Marcus Mariota get off the deck and play well last week, too. And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, Great hand-eye coordination. Guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Watson now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. To the air yet again, Watson. He'll find Miller. That's complete. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. But I'll guarantee you, Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use him a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. This is taken at the 3. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we reach halftime here in Glendale with the Cardinals on top. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome, everyone, to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has certainly been one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you. And we